My respects.
I'm at your service, sir.
My humble respects.
Shalom.
Good day to you.
God grant you health. Well, come to your senses yet.
Lumiere, do you hear me?
Not so loud.
Oh, he's still completely wasted. This should sober him up. Oh, no, not... nothing like a little hair. Maybe you'll...
Oh. It hurts.
Lumiere? Oh, this should sober him up. Oh, no.
Oh.
Same to you.
It happens! Just watch where you're going next time.
wonderful day for old God.
Quality good. It happens. Just watch where you're going next time.
Solon.
What are you blabbering about?
Tanto.
Excuse me?
I apologize.
Even the city council is going to the other tournament.
Wie geht's, mein Herr?
What do you have for sale? A word about the price. Here.
Schöne... So, sei gesund. Thanks. I'll give him a try.
How's your sister?
Did you get it sorted
Why
out?
do you ask?
I heard she was sick.
Shalom Aleichem. I even had to sell a ring from my mother-in-law.
A man would be calling for...
I'm telling you. If you want
Danger. Wafers!
Shalom Aleichem. What do you need?
How's life been treating you? No trouble with the miners or the Lord Councillors?
Why do you ask? Do you know of any trouble?
I don't know. Perhaps. I've heard some strange talk on the street.
Aye, we know about that. Those bloody hammers and cheats, they're just interested in smearing our reputation and robbing us. And our people live constantly in fear that they will burn their houses down, the bastards.
Did you say someone wants to rob you?
Not just me, but all the sons of David.
You mean you Jews?
Aye, that's our fate. Your people despise us and use every chance they get to kick us. Oy vey. Everybody hates money that doesn't belong to them.
How's business? You have to be successful in this big city, eh?
Me? I've had such tough luck. I think I might have to close my business, my friend.
Really? That's a surprise.
People have developed bad superstitions and don't want to come to the Jew anymore. Ever since that Hungarian king came here, all kinds of hammers and swindlers have been smearing my name. I've been living here for 15 years, but I've never experienced this before. I'm telling you, this won't end well. Something's going to happen here.
How many of you actually live here?
Just a few dozen. And even so, it's a miracle they haven't driven us out of here yet.
Why would they do that?
They say it's because they don't need us here. They have enough of their own silver.
Wait, I don't understand you.
You must be from the countryside if you don't understand, right? Younger man, Christians leave us alone, but only if we lend them money. At least that's usually the case. But groschen are produced right here in the city, and so there's no shortage of coins. They even throw groschen to the beggars instead of bread.
When was the local synagogue built?
I don't know. I didn't build it. But it'll be at least 100 years. Why?
I was just wondering how long your people have been living here.
The oldest have been here a long time. The children a little shorter.
I reckon you're right there.
That's what you get for trying to pick my brain. I really don't know, though. The shul has been here since time immemorial. You'd have to ask our rabbi. He knows everything.
How is that rabbi of yours? Is he a smart man?
Ah, anyone can be smart, but the rabbi is wise, younger man. In fact, the Lord Counselors themselves invite him to meetings.
How are you doing?
If I say good, you'll be jealous of me. If I say bad, you're going to think I'm a bad businessman.
What do you have for sale? I'd like to do something about that. Is this enough?
That's too much. Masa umatanto. I can agree. Tantov. Sei gesund. Wanted to break in here, did you?
God bless.
Are we really any worse than they are?
Lumir, do you hear him? Oh, he's still complete. Nothing like a little hair of the...
More booze.
Drink up.
Wait, what? What are you doing here? Who are you?
My name is Henry.
And what do you want from me?
I'm trying to find out who killed a certain girl. And I was sent to you.
To me? What for?
Are you Lumir from the rat house? The scribe?
I used to be. Now I'm just Lumir the madman.
Well, you don't look crazy.
Yeah. But I am. I see things in my head that aren't real. And then I point my finger at the wrong people. I'm the biggest madman in Kuttenberg.
But I need your help.
If I were you, lad, I'd leave it be. You can't help that girl anymore, anyway. You'll just end up hurting yourself.
Come now, Lumir.
Poor girls. Nobody was all that interested in it, except for me. We let it be in the end. We let a monster walk among us. No way. You can't solve this yourself.
I'm not doing it for myself. I'm afraid he might kill one of my friends.
A friend, eh? That's not good. Not good at all. I searched high and low. And what did I get out of it? Just mockery. What makes you think you can find out more than I did?
Because I'm not stupid, and I notice things. I've successfully solved a murder before.
Is that so? A murder investigation under your belt. And educated and observant, too.
Well, I said I'm not stupid. Not that I'm educated. I can read and write, too. Sometimes even count.
If only more people knew the difference. All right. Talk to me. Who was this dead girl?
Her name was Alice. She worked as a maid.
A maid? That fits. Yarka was a maid, too. As were most of the other victims. What did she look like? What did he do to her?
I think that he strangled her first, and then went at her with a longer blade and disemboweled her.
Did you notice the strangulation right away? It took me a while. Maybe you really will track him down.
Do you think it's the same murder?
Counting your girl, that makes 6 victims who were first strangled and then mutilated. If it's not all the same person, they must be collaborating somehow.
This is the 6th one. How long has he been killing?
Probably about a year now. Sometimes it takes him months, sometimes weeks. But I'm including missing girls, Stanya and Zdena.
Why are you counting the missing girls?
Because I think someone killed them, and we just haven't found them yet.
Did the dead girls have anything in common?
Aside from being pretty young girls with no proper family or background, no. I couldn't find much.
Do you think somebody is killing them because they're poor, and nobody will miss them?
Certainly. If somebody killed the daughter of a local lord, no stone would be left unturned.
But why does he even kill in the first place?
I don't know. Maybe he hates women. Damn it. I feel like I'm going in circles and can't get out.
What can you tell me about Yarka?
She wasn't the first. But thanks to her, people started taking an interest. She was a maid in a German family. By all accounts, she was a pious, polite girl. She was orphaned as a child. The priest from the Church of St. Peter and Paul, Father Prokop, raised her. They found her body tossed behind a barn at the edge of town. She was cut all the way from her neck downwards. An awful sight to behold.
Did you have any suspects?
At first, I thought the son from that family did it. A murderer is usually someone close, you know. But then I changed my mind.
Why?
Well, for one, I remembered the 2 girls before her who ended up almost the same. Besides that, when I talked to the lad, he seemed he wasn't the least bit interested in Yarka. Then his mother told me that they threw her out a week before the murder because she was a harlot who stayed out till all hours of the night. That really surprised me, because Father Prokop had vouched for her good reputation. But who knows? Maybe he just didn't want to admit what had become of her.
What about Stanya?
She was an alehouse wench in a tavern of ill repute called the Hole in the Wall.
You said her body was never found. Maybe she just got out of town.
You have no idea how much I'd like to believe that. Only there was a lot of blood. Unfortunately, the investigation wasn't very successful. The Hole is a world of its own, and the people there aren't very forthcoming with information.
Did you suspect anybody?
You could suspect every second man there. Those people have nothing but thievery and deceit in their eyes. The innkeeper, Mole, definitely knew Stanya, since she worked for him. But he isn't all that chatty either.
So if I want to learn anything more, I have to ask this Mole in the hole?
Yeah, he still runs the place.
And what about that Zdena? You said her body was never found.
Exactly. But to tell the truth, nobody spent much time looking for it. Besides Alice, Zdena was the most recent victim. It's only been a few weeks since she went missing, but I suppose nobody wanted to do any more digging.
But if her body was never found, how do you know she was killed?
Because she was the same type as the other girls. Maybe the prettiest of them all. Young, beautiful. A real live one. Lively as the devil. She was a thief. A pickpocket. I never could pin it on her, though. She always found some way to get out of it.
Maybe she robbed the wrong people and had to get out of town.
Maybe. She had a partner in crime by the name of Strunad. Quite a number. He's always sitting in the hole, boozing. When I asked him about Zdena, he told me he'd rather rip his own tongue out than talk.
Do you think he'd be more forthcoming with me?
He might be. You're not known all over town like a catchpole. It's worth a try. Besides, it might still be fresh in his memory. That would be a great help.
And what about the other 2 victims?
It all started with them, though nobody did much about it at the time. The first one worked as a bathhouse maid. They called her Chestnut. She'd only been in town for a short while, and nobody really knew her. So I couldn't find out anything more. But the other one, Libushka, she was from Loretz. She was a maidservant, too. I also talked to her mother. She said she was really cheerful and outgoing. There were lots of suitors circling around her, but she refused them all. She knew she was pretty and knew she could do better than some farmhand.
You mean she wanted someone higher up?
That's what it sounded like. But her mother never found out who she had her eye on.
Interesting. I'll try to see what else I can find out from the mother. Where can I find her?
In the graveyard, lad. The poor woman died of grief. It's sad to say, but we can't help those 2 dead girls now. And they can't help us with our investigation either. There's nobody else left who could tell us anything about them.
Why were you looking into it? Who were those dead girls to you?
I don't know what people told you about me, but for many long years I was a scribe for Kuttenberg's bailiff. Kuttenberg is a big city with a lot of people. Silver, silver, silver. Mining it, smelting it, stealing it. There's always something going on. The bailiff was always running from hell to Hades, from one rich man to another, settling their quarrels. Often trivial nonsense.
But there are more than just rich burghers and lords in the city.
Exactly. There are common folk, too. There's a lot more of them, and their troubles are usually more serious. So when one of them came to the bailiff's one time, and the bailiff was running around somewhere, I started to deal with it myself. I was pretty good at it, too.
Behind the bailiff's back?
Not really. Andreas supported my activities until recently.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it. Sorry.
Did you have any suspects back then?
You can always find some suspect. I always dragged the most suspicious ones to the body in the morgue by force. And they threw up at the sight. Or fainted.
Couldn't it have just been an act?
Fainting? Vomiting? That's hard to act. I'd swear none of them did it.
Can you sum it all up for me?
We have 6 victims here. And I believe they were all murdered by the same killer. Unfortunately, we only know a little about the last 4, the most recent ones. By now, we won't learn anything about the first 2. Of the remaining 4, the first to be killed was the maidservant, Yarka. She was raised by Father Prokop from the Church of St. Peter and Paul. He should know the most about her. The next were Stanya and Zdena. Their bodies weren't found, but we assume they also became victims of the same murderer. They both hung around a tavern they called the Hole in the Wall. Stanya was an alehouse maid, and Zdena a pickpocket. And the last victim is Alice now, also a maid. What they all have in common is that they were young, beautiful, and brunette.
Good. I know everything I need to know.
When you learn something more, stop by and see me. You've aroused a bit of hope in me, lad. I hope you won't disappoint me.
Heavens, that mane.
Good day to you. What brings you here?
Father, I need to ask you a few questions.
I don't have time for theological discussions, my son.
That's not why I'm here. My name's Henry, and I wanted to ask about the murder that happened recently. Someone killed and gutted a young maidservant and left her body lying by the city walls. And I hear it's not the first time this has happened.
Another one murdered. May the Lord grant her eternal rest. Why is it you ask?
I fear for my sister. She's also a maid.
Yes. Fear for those close to you is commendable. What would you like to hear?
One of the other victims was a girl named Yarka. But I reckon you know that, don't you? What can you tell me about her?
About Yarka? She was an ordinary girl. She served the von Groll family.
Where did you know Yarka from?
I knew her since she was a little girl. Knew her family.
And?
I was her uncle. When my brother and his wife died, I took care of her.
Who do you think killed her?
William, that pig of Satan. He gambles in the tavern on All Saints' Day and leads the locals astray. Yarka always went there to listen to music.
Why do you think it was William? Do you have any evidence?
Evidence? He's a skirt chaser, a tool of Satan. He messes with poor girls' heads.
And does anyone else come to mind? No other man spoke with her?
No, absolutely not.
You raised her? A priest with a child?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm not the first of the clergy to have a child on the side. But at least everyone knew Yarka wasn't my own daughter.
No offense, but how did you know what to do? Without a wife, without a family? I would have been lost.
I was a bit, son. When she was smaller, it was fine, but when she grew up a bit, maybe I was too hard on her.
How does that even work? Did you have her with you at the presbytery?
When she was small, I could. But when she grew up, she had to go. It wouldn't look right.
Why do you think you were too hard on her?
Yarko was an orphan, with no family and no possessions. Her only chance of a good life was a good upbringing. And then, a husband. But the more I led her in that direction, the more she resisted me.
You're well off, though. Couldn't you provide for her?
I couldn't. Even if she had been my very own. More so, since she was my brother's.
But how come?
The church's property always remains the church's. They keep a close eye on that.
How did she rebel against you?
She wouldn't listen. She ran away. She ran around with all sorts. And how did it turn out? She died. And in sin. Such a disgrace.
Disgrace? What the devil are you talking about?
She was pregnant. Even if she had lived, what then? Nobody would want to marry her anymore.
Why don't you respect Lumir?
That's my business. You needn't concern yourself about that. I won't tell you anything.
Come now, Father. I'm not just asking out of curiosity. This is about all the dead girls. Isn't it written in Scripture, speak up for those who have no voice?
A layman quotes the Bible to me. Fine. Lumir accused me of her murder.
What?
Yes. He slandered me in public.
And how... What happened then?
It turned out he was deranged. How could he even think such a thing? He's finished in Kuttenberg.
I've heard enough, Father. I'll be going.
Son, I'll give you some good advice. Don't listen to Lumir. That man has gone completely mad.
God be with you.
Welcome. Greetings to you.
Show me your where.
What can you do?
I'm sorry.
Maybe next time.
What are you here?
I'll have a look at the...
Nothing to your liking, sir?
I'll have a look at the...
I hope you find what you're looking for next time.
God be with you, sir.
Lord be with you.
I could use some help with the riddle about the symbols.
If it's one of old Greece's riddles, don't even start. They always give me a pain in the noggin. Take care.
What do you need, sir?
Did Estanya work here?
Stanya. Maybe. It depends on who's asking.
My name's Henry.
Names don't interest me. The main thing is whether it's a good guest or a bad guest asking. What kind of guest are you, Henry?
I'm a good guest.
Really? Let's see. Do you know how to recognize a good guest?
By the fact he spends a lot of coin?
Aye. I like talking to them kind of guests. A lot. So, what'll it be, my good man?
What if I simply paid you, and you tell me what I want to know?
Ask away.
I want to know if Stanya worked here.
She did. And she don't know more. What's it to you?
I heard she disappeared without a trace. So I'm trying to find out if anyone had anything to do with it.
It's possible. The chamber she was sleeping in here was totally ransacked. The door open. Everything emptied out. And Stanya was gone. All I found were bloody footprints.
How did Stanya's room look?
The door was wide open. Most of her things were gone, but some remained. And there was blood all over the place.
Blood? Was there a lot?
Not so much, really. More like hand or footprints. But they were near everywhere. If someone done her in, they definitely didn't do it in that chamber.
Tell me something else.
First, you'll have another beer. Or is it time to pay?
What?
If you want to ask, You have to drink. Didn't you get that?
You're quite the extortionist.
I prefer to be called an enterprising man of trade. So, what'll it be?
I'm getting tired of this. I'll give you the money up front, and that's all you'll get, whether I'm a good guest or bad. Got it? Now you're gonna spill it. Got it?
All right, all right.
Did anybody see what actually happened when Stanya disappeared?
No, it was at night. Nobody saw or heard anything. The tavern tends to be empty at that hour. And you won't meet many people on the street, neither.
What was Stanya like? What can you tell me about her?
A bold woman. One has to be here. Everyone's ballsy here unless you nib it in the bud right away. She was hanging around a bard for a while. I don't know how close they were, but she also had another suitor.
Someone from the city?
No, a charcoal burner. I heard he was from somewhere in the, Verchlitz Valley. I think his name was Barton?
What do you know about that bard?
What about him? He's a minstrel, a skirt chaser. What more can I say? He called himself William. As far as I know, he plays in the Miners' Tavern in the evenings. But sometimes he shows up here, too.
You think he might have been the one who...
Now that you mention it, he cleared out of town for a while and only came back not long ago. It could be him, all right. I know he met with some odd people and talked about God knows what, like bloody spies. Besides, you know what minstrels are like. Lasses just flock to them. And like they say, opportunity makes the thief.
Or in this case, a murderer. Apart from those men, did anyone else know Stanya? I mean, more intimately?
Well, I got bad news for you. She had 2 close friends, but you won't get much out of either of them.
Why?
One was hit by a cart, even before Stanya disappeared. And she died. And the other one got married and moved away.
Where can I find this Barton?
I already told you. In the Verchlitz Valley.
Could you be a bit more precise?
I don't know that bloke at all. All I know is he's a charcoal burner. So if I was you, I'd look somewhere around the charcoal kilns.
That's all I need to know.
Are you going to do laundry today?
Excuse me.
Are you Sternad? The one that went with Zdenna?
Who the fuck are you?
Just an ordinary bloke who has some questions.
Well then, piss off. You won't get any answers here. All you're gonna get here is a kick in the teeth.
Why so rash? That kind of attitude will do you no favours. Let's make a deal. You tell me everything you know about Zdenna, and I'll make sure you're no worse for wear.
Ah. You're the lord what that whore robbed. Don't worry about it. She weren't nothing but a lying bitch.
So, if I understand correctly, we can make a deal?
For the right price, I'll tell you all I know.
Is this the right price?
You fucking bet it is. Ask away and I'll tell you everything.
Where can I find Zdenna?
Aye. That's what I like to fucking know too. Last time I saw her... Well, that'd be back when she managed to fleece you.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to find her.
I can well imagine. Well, she went to Ravstein Mill. It's quite a long ways away. She had some unfinished business with some bloke called Pint. Ain't nobody seen her since then.
What can you tell me about Zdenna?
What do you want to hear? I try to keep her out of trouble, but there's just no helping some women.
So you were taking care of her?
Well, just in front of the others. Other than that, she did what she wanted. Always made her mind up and did things her own way.
So you weren't too fond of her?
Not really, no. But she did have a knack for making coin.
Did she have any friends or lovers who'd know more? Did anybody come here to see her?
Who come to see that bitch? She was always off somewhere, seeing someone. Although, once...
Someone came to see her?
Well, aye. Some stuffed frock came here once. All old and decrepit. He said he had some job for her. That she should leave behind her sinful life and all that shit. But he left empty-handed. She told him to go to hell.
Do you know who that priest was?
Some fucking Prokop or Pravoslav or some such shit. But that reminds me, I saw her a couple of times with another bastard. That fucking bard, William.
And could she have run away with this bard, William?
With that lily-livered fop? Well, he ain't been seen in town for some time, but I think someone was out to get him. He still don't come here no more. He plucks that loot of his in the miners' tavern. The wee shit.
What do you know about this priest?
Not much. Seems they knew each other from before, and he had some job for her somewhere, serving as a maid or something. But she weren't stupid. She told him to fuck right off.
And did he go?
Aye, indeed. He didn't look like the kind of fella that would knock some sense into a woman. I think he just told her if she changed her mind to come and see him, or some shit like that.
And could she have changed her mind and gone to him? And that's why nobody's seen her?
No, no. She took off. I'm sure about that.
I've heard enough.
A fine day for some fine wares. Come and take your pick.
What's taking so long? It's like I'm invisible or something. Good day. Today,
The finest leather. Purses, belts, slippers.
service is kind of slow.
Oh, yes. I'll be closing soon.
I'd like to do something about...
Well... Here. Many thanks. Thank you, sir. And come again.
Just look at him. He could cut you in half without even pulling his sword from his
Greetings.
It's William, right? I need to talk to you.
What is it? Do we know each other? Do I owe you money?
My name's Henry. And no, we don't know each other, and you don't owe me money. But we do have something in common. We have a lot of mutual friends.
What? What do you want of me? I don't have to talk to you.
You don't need to. I can go and chat with the guards instead. Tell them you're the one hurting those girls.
What? I don't have anything to do with any girls.
Really? You? A notorious skirt chaser? Do you think anyone will believe you?
I just got back to the city. I don't know what you're trying to pin on me, but whatever it is, I didn't do it.
But everyone remembers you. You better spit it out before someone points the finger at you.
Come on. All right, then. Ask away.
Did you know Alice?
I know a lot of Alices. You have to be more specific.
The one they found dead somewhere below the town walls.
Oh, her. I didn't know her, but I heard about it.
I heard she used to go to dances.
Yeah, and? I'm not the only musician in the city. I really didn't know her.
They say she had a rich young suitor. Do you know anything about that?
Me? Do I look rich to you? I get paid in food.
But you could at least pass yourself off as wealthy.
Or I could claim to be the Virgin Mary, but I doubt anyone would believe me.
And did you ever meet Yarka? It was a long time ago, but I heard she used to hang around you a lot. And Father Prokop didn't like it.
Oh, that one. Aye, she was very keen on my company for a while, but then she stopped coming.
Because somebody killed her?
I know what happened was a tragedy, but it wasn't my fault. She stopped talking to me long before that. Honest.
And did you know she was pregnant?
What? Yarka was... That's horrible. Who would kill a pregnant woman?
That's what I'd like to find out. What about the unwilling father-to-be? It wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
What? Mine? I never even got under her skirt. We just flirted a bit, and then she stopped coming by.
And can you tell me anything else about it?
I don't know anything. It was a long time ago. You said so yourself.
And I hear you knew Stanya.
Which one do you mean?
The alehouse wench from the hole. I heard you had something with her too.
Well, she batted her eyes at me a couple of times when I was still playing there. A nice girl, but I didn't know her much.
And the innkeeper Mole told me a different story. He said you were the one coming on to her.
Fine, we had a bit of fun together. But she was always the one who started it.
And aren't you just saying that because she left you?
Oh, come on! I could have any woman, if I wanted. The innkeeper must have got it mixed up. He's an old drunkard after all. If I was you, I wouldn't take him too seriously.
And what about Zdena? You knew her, right?
Do I know Zdena? As wild as the wind and always full of life. And those nimble fingers. You always had to check your purse around her.
Did she steal something from you?
A traveling minstrel doesn't have much to steal, but she was well aware of that. She was on the lookout for some better prey.
You don't happen to know who she wanted to rob?
There were lots. Anyone she thought was rich enough who let her ply her charms for a while. Like young von Groller. When he started coming here, she got to him right away. Said she was gonna rob him blind. As far as I know, she didn't succeed. If she robbed a noble like von Groller, word would get around. Look, why are you asking me about all this? You don't seriously think I killed her, do you?
Well, you did know them all.
And? I'm surely not the only one.
That may be true. But everybody knows you're a skirt chaser, and they were all pretty girls. And now, they're dead.
But I had nothing to do with it!
So you didn't do anything to them?
No! Why would I? What would I get out of it? It doesn't make any sense. It goes against God.
You dare invoke God?
I admit, I'm no saint, but for Christ's sake, I'd never kill anybody.
Good. I believe you. But if any clue leads me back here to you, I won't give you a second chance.
You won't hear about me again, I swear to God.
I'm sorry.
Just watch where you're... going next time.
Greetings.
Go!
God!
Go!
God!
The
Praise
Lord be
God.
with you. Good day.
Greetings. What are you trying to
Skulking
pull,
around
you
for,
scoundrel?
crook? Lord be with you.
Are you Pint?
I am. Why?
I'm looking for his Denner.
I don't know any Stenner.
Stonard said something different.
You're a friend of Stonard's, are you?
God forbid. That's all I need. A friend like that bastard. But he was the only one who really knew Denner.
You're right there. Stenner was always cursing him. He was as lazy as a pig, but always wanted his share.
So you knew Denner? Can you tell me anything about her?
I know Stenner all right, but she ain't been here in some time. Why are you looking for her? What do you want from her?
I'm looking for her... Back in the city, They think she's either dead or run off somewhere. And you're the last person to see her before she went missing.
Whatever.
What can you tell me about Zdena?
She always had it hard. She lost her parents and her home as a child. She had to learn to take care of herself.
And what about Sternad? How does he fit into this?
Sternard was her guardian angel, as she used to say. If she hadn't been thieving with him, she probably would have ended up a whore. But by sharing with him, she could do what she wanted.
Uh-huh. I'm surprised she stuck with him as long as she did.
That's because she had a hideout somewhere nearby. That's why she'd come to me with her loot, before they taxed her on the spot. And the last time she was here, she said one more haul like this, and she'd be able to go wherever she wanted, to Prague or Vienna.
I heard she wanted to sell you some valuables. Is that true?
Oh, aye. She had a good haul. No rubbish. Mostly jewelry, rings, one signet ring with a coat of arms and everything. She left it all here. I paid her a pretty sum of coin. It was a good thing she had a basket with her, otherwise she couldn't have carried it all.
And what about that signet ring? Do you still have it?
She didn't sell me the ring. She wanted to keep it. Said it'd bring her luck someday.
Do you know what kind of luck she meant? Did you recognize the signet on the ring?
No, I didn't recognize that signet. But all the while, Zdena was giggling to herself. I reckon she had her eye on another mark.
Where did she go next from here? You said she had a lot of coin on her.
That she did. She also had a feeling someone was following her. Someone on a horse.
Someone followed her on a horse from Kuttenberg. Did she say what he looked like?
She didn't. At first, she thought it was some wealthy lord out for a ride. But he held back. Never passed by her and...
And did you see him? Did he come all the way here?
No. But Zdena thought he would show. She even left her scarf here and paid some girl to walk around with it to make it look like she was still here.
And then where'd she go?
She wanted to go the back way, through the woods, so nobody could follow her. Past the woods is a road and a ford across a stream. Next to it is a huge boulder. When it rains, the water can rise fast. The road goes on to Kuttenberg.
Well, if it leads back to the road and there was really someone following her, I reckon if they saw she was long in returning, they could have waited for her at the ford, no?
Fuck! That's quite possible. I made a point of looking, but I didn't see any riders that day, so I forgot about it.
And could it have been Father Prokop following her?
What do I know? If he has a horse and fancy clothes, but why would he do it?
I heard he wanted to find her an honest job, but she wasn't interested.
I don't know. She didn't say nothing about that.
And could it have been William?
And who would that be?
He's this bard she was seeing.
I don't know about that. I don't remember her mentioning nobody by that name.
Well, I'll go and check out that ford. Maybe I'll find something there.
I hope you don't. See you soon, my friend.
That has to be that ford Pint was talking about. I should take a look around here. This must be that basket of silver Zdena was carrying with her. She wouldn't have just left that here. But where did it come from? Maybe it rolled down the hill? Poor thing. She didn't get very far. Ugh, she's been lying here a long time. At first glance, this body isn't as mutilated as the others. Unfortunately, I can't tell if somebody strangled her like the others. She's been lying here too long for that, but her head is smashed in. Either the murderer hit her with a rock, or dashed her hard against the ground. She must have put up a fight. Or maybe he lost his patience. Oh, she's all stuck to her clothes. They're torn up, but I don't see any cuts. The rips are odd. Like someone was looking for something. Oh, I can't make much out by now. But it seems as if the fingers on her right hand are broken. Did the murderer torture her? Or was he trying to get something out of her hand? Oh, my God. Oh, something fell out of her. A signet ring. Oh, that must be the one she stole. How did it get inside her? Did she swallow it herself? Or did the murderer shove it in there? Was she trying to hide it? Or was it punishment for stealing? Well, that's enough. But what does it all mean? I'd say she put up a decent fight, and the killer had to improvise, and that's about all I can find out. She's probably been lying here a few weeks, but that ring is a good lead. Have you found the rest of that human gang that ambushed you yet?
Yeah. I tracked down their camp. It's not far from here, but there's a horde of them.
Oh, shit. What will you do?
We have to face them. We have no choice. They still have our chest. But since you're here, friend, we could sure use an extra sword. What do you say? Will you stand in battle once more at the side of the Zimburg brothers?
So how many humans are there?
I don't know exactly. But their camp isn't exactly small. I'd feel a lot safer if you went there with us.
Remind me, please. What's so important about that chest they stole from you?
Well, it's a family heirloom. Nothing special, just a small decorated chest.
And what's inside?
It's not important. I'll tell you everything once we get it back.
Well, I can't pass up an opportunity like this. Let's crack some thieving heads.
I knew we could count on you. Tugbone will get the horses ready, and we'll be off.
So? Have you come up with a plan?
There's nothing to plan. We'll just storm in and cut them to pieces.
You want to get yourself killed? We can't just waltz into their camp. We should take advantage of the fact that they don't know about us. Take them out one by one, nice and quietly.
You can't be serious. That's the way of murderers, not knights.
Enough. Leave it to me. I'll sneak in and take care of them. Clean and quiet, like.
No! I came here for revenge.
Jan, damn it. What good is revenge if they kill us? Let Henry try at least. If something goes wrong, we'll storm them from behind.
Fuck it. Well, go on then.
Good luck.
A francba.
Mindenki hozzám! Támadó!
Megint hallom.
Mocskos disznó! Csak gyertek! Harc! A fejükre menjetek! És ennyi volt!
Imádkozz, bolond!
Harapj egy kis füvet!
Kibaszott szarzabálók! Baszni rá!
Gyerünk, ti szemetek!
Szard össze magad!
Yeah! You don't spare him! Damnation!
Where are you hiding it, you bastards?
Damnation!
Where the hell is it?
done. The camp is clear. Do you feel better now? Finally getting your revenge?
Yeah, not at all. We still have to find our chest.
I found something, but it doesn't look like a chest for valuables.
You give it here! Quickly! Oh, thank God. We're saved.
And now I hope you'll finally tell me what's in the chest.
You're right. I promised you. As you correctly noted, it is not a chest for valuables. It is a reliquary.
What? So they stole a bunch of bones?
In your hands, you held Knight Alesh of Zimburg, our father.
What?
At least, what's left of him. You see, when father died, as well as his two grieving sons, he also left behind his worldly possessions. In particular, our family seat, Engelsberg Castle. A castle that rightfully belongs to us, but our mother refuses to grant it to us. Instead, she made our uncle steward. She says we're too young and reckless for such responsibility.
And why did your mother entrust the castle to your uncle? As a widow, she could also rule, right?
It's a gesture of goodwill. Mother always had what you might call a warm relationship with Uncle Predbor of Zimburg. But as a knight, he couldn't hold a candle to our father. That idiot would like to return the estates to the lower nobility. That's why we need to get our castle back quickly.
And how is this related to the reliquary?
In accordance with family tradition, the remains of the lords of Zimburg are buried in Sedlets. This is how the monastery shows its gratitude to our ancestor, the founder of our line, who had it built long ago. Many years ago, however, we moved to Moravia and abandoned the tradition. My brother and I decided to lay our father to rest in this holy place, and prove to our mother that we had grown up.
Except on the way, they stole the reliquary from you.
Indeed. If Mother found out what happened, she would never hand over Engelsberg, not even to our grandchildren.
Why didn't you want to tell me what we were looking for?
You don't take it personally, but if word got out that we had lost it, even for a short time, you can't imagine what an embarrassment that would be. Our father, a noble knight, in the hands of Sigismund's foreigners? Oh, fortunately, we saved him.
I know what it's like to bury a father. I was glad to help you.
You are a good and honorable man, Henry. Once more, in the name of the Zimburgs, and in the name of our dead father, I thank you. Now my brother and I must go to Sedlets, but then we will stay here for a while. If you need anything, you know where to find our camp. Until then, good luck, my friend.
May God be with you.
Go! God! God! Quick! Go! God! God!
Whoa, whoa.
God grant you help.
I need to ask you something.
I don't have time for that. Ask the foreman. You'll find him around here somewhere.
I'm looking for someone named Stanya.
You're in a charcoal camp, fella. What would a woman be doing here?
But you know Stanya, don't you?
Aye. You could say that. Why?
I'm looking for the killer of a girl in town. And I heard that someone also tried to kill this Stanya.
That's true. She told me something like that. But that was a long time ago.
So you don't know what became of her?
I really don't know, mate. But even if I did know, how can I be sure you aren't that killer?
I wouldn't be foolishly asking around for her then, would I?
Why not? How else would you find her?
Without getting seen by any witnesses.
What do you mean? What witnesses?
I mean you. If I tried anything, you'd remember me.
Well, that didn't occur to me. That would really be stupid of you.
I really only want to talk to her.
Sorry, but after all that happened to Stanya, I like to be careful.
So Stanya is here?
Aye. She's hiding with us. Since that thing happened, she's afraid to even go outside. I don't know what to do with her anymore.
Can I speak to her?
If it'll help you. She's hiding in that cottage, but be nice to her. She's in a bad way. She used to be such a gutsy girl. Until we meet again. God grant you help.
Who are you? How did you find me? If you came here to finish what you started, I'm not afraid of you. I'll claw your eyes out.
Don't be afraid. Barton told me where to find you.
Barton sent you to me. What do you want from me?
Lumir thought you were dead. I was supposed to find out what happened to you.
Lumir? From the rat house. He sent you.
Exactly. Someone killed a girl in Kuttenberg. Lumir thought it might be connected with you, so maybe you could help us find out who did it.
How can I help you when I haven't been in Kuttenberg since... I don't even know when.
You disappeared from the hole in the wall without saying goodbye. Without a word. What happened?
Someone attacked me when I was coming home from the baths one night. I managed to get away, but I was so afraid. I decided to run away from Kuttenberg.
Did you see who it was?
Not at all. I didn't see anything until he jumped out of the shadows and grabbed me around the neck. And he was terribly strong. I nearly blacked out right away.
And how did you manage to break free?
I had an empty pitcher in my hand, and I hit him with it. He howled and let me go, and I ran away.
Here? To the charcoal burners?
No, first to my room in the hole. I was so scared there. I took what I could and ran. Here, to Barton.
And your lover? What did he say?
At first he was horrified, because I had cut myself on a shard from the pitcher and was all bloody. He's been hiding me here since then.
What was it like working in the hole?
Well, I earned a few groschen, that I did. But I often had to grit my teeth.
How so?
Every single day I had to put up with their lewd remarks. Rich or poor, everyone wants to grope a girl. People, well, us girls have to watch out. We can't just put up with it, and sometimes we have to be tough, especially in a place like the hole. But you can't overdo it either. That's no good.
How so?
Because if you smile at them nicely, then sometimes they leave a groschen, or even two. You have to keep a balance. To look friendly, but unavailable.
You said that rich or poor, they all like to grope girls. Like who?
Truth be told, the hole isn't exactly a good place for a rich man, but young von Groll used to go there for a while.
Is that so? Did he talk to you?
He smiled at me a lot, so I smiled back, but beyond a few groschen, there was nothing more to it. Then this thieving wench started hanging around him and... oh, it doesn't matter. But that servant of his didn't like it, tried to drive her away, and so the young lord stopped bringing him with him.
Von Groller had a servant with him?
Aye, a pudgy fella, well-dressed, but had a mean face. He never said a word or smiled, or even said thank you.
You walked home from the baths at night?
What's so odd about that?
Well, at night, the baths are...
Ah, right. I went there after closing. I always brought the girls a pitcher of wine or ale and took a bath while they drank it.
Aha. So that's why you had the empty pitcher you hit him with?
Right. I went there regularly, every week.
The same way every time?
Aye, always the same way. The shortest one. I didn't want to stay out too long at night.
And who knew that you went by yourself to the baths?
Well, everyone from the tavern, I reckon. I didn't hide it.
Why didn't you go back to the hole?
Just to get murdered there? Are you mad? I'm never going back there. Not until they catch him.
How are you now?
I'm still awful scared. I can't fall asleep knowing that, and I can't even really leave the house.
Do you remember anything important about the attacker? What he looked like? What he was wearing?
I don't know anything. It was at night. He grabbed me from behind, and then I ran and never turned back.
And what about when you hit him? What did he do?
He let me go and cursed.
Aha. And what did he say?
He said Scheisse in German.
Seems you're the only one to survive the killer's attack. I know it isn't easy for you to think about it, but try to remember something else about that moment, or when you were running away. Anything can help us, even if it seems insignificant.
I don't know. It's all like in a fog.
You were walking down the street. Did you notice anything before he attacked you?
No, nothing.
You didn't see anything or hear anything?
Actually, I knew the side street wasn't empty. I heard somebody talking, but when I looked, there was nobody there. So when somebody grabbed me, I completely froze.
Did you understand what they were talking about?
Not at all. But there were two voices. Two of them waiting for me there.
It's difficult, I understand. But I need you to think hard one more time. Aside from those voices and the empty street, what else do you remember?
I didn't hear him at all. And then he grabbed me.
And nothing else? Did he grab your hair?
Well, No. He grabbed me by the throat right away and squeezed, just for a moment, but I still had a big bruise round my neck for weeks. Barton said the man must have had a terribly strong grip, like a miner or swordsman.
Couldn't it have been that innkeeper, then? You yourself said he's a pig.
Aye, when he drinks, he turns into a total bastard. All lewd remarks and groping fingers. The lecher. Only when I got to my room, I could hear him snoring. It couldn't have been him.
Couldn't it have been Father Prokop?
Father Prokop? I don't know him.
No, he's pretty old. He preaches in the Church of St. Peter and St. Paul.
I don't know him. And if he's an old man, how strong could his grip really be?
I heard William liked pretending to be a spy. Do you know anything about that?
Aye, I thought it pretty silly. A stupid trick to make himself seem more interesting. Though I reckon he's more likely to attract an arse-kicking than a woman.
I reckon that'll be all.
I'm sorry I'm not able to help you more.
No, you don't need to apologise.
Thank you. Could I ask you for a favour?
If it's in my power.
When you catch that bastard, would you please let me know? So I can finally stop being afraid.
I'll stop by if I can.
Take care then.
That's mine. Find your own.
I saw nothing. I was never here.
A good thing, fool. Prepare to fight. I'm all yours. Stick your eyes out. That was something. Ha! Shit! Ha! What do you want?
Sei gesund.
I found out some interesting things about those murders. Just like you said.
That's wonderful news. But wait a while. I promised Catherine we'd wait for her.
You know Catherine?
She came to see me soon after you did, and started asking me questions. Just like you.
Will you send for her? So, we're all here.
I hope nobody else shows up. How did it go?
I reckon I've found out all I can.
And do you know who the murderer is?
Not exactly, but I have a few ideas.
I've asked around a bit, and I have my own suspicions.
Is that so? See, I was trying to recall some more details, and I had someone come to mind as well.
I didn't do all this for nothing, did I?
Well,
Well? Who do you suspect now?
Well, I'd say William did it. The minstrel.
You can't be serious. He's innocent.
Uh-huh. And who do you think it was?
Prokop. I'm sure of it.
No. Really? That's impossible. It couldn't have been him.
So I see we disagree. Too bad. We could have been done with it quickly.
Well, who do you think it was then?
I'm not entirely sure. First, I'll tell you what I found out, and then it might be easier for us.
Go on then. Starting with who?
Let's talk about Yarka, the one raised by Father Prokop.
What did you learn about her?
Prokop didn't just raise her out of the goodness of his heart. He was actually her uncle.
Really? But he still could have killed her.
His own relative?
Why not? He's a priest. I'm sure he knows the story of Cain and Abel.
Prokop also admitted that he didn't know how to handle her, and perhaps he was too strict.
What do you expect from a Bible thumper? Man punishes and God forgives. It never occurs to them that if man didn't punish, God wouldn't have to forgive.
Well, maybe I wouldn't hold it against him. He really tried to make sure she was well taken care of. He wanted to find her a husband, too.
And did you learn who he found?
No. I think it fell apart when Yarka started rebelling. Yarka started working for the von Groller family, where she remained until her death.
I was there to ask whether she'd given them any trouble, but they said she was always thorough and reliable.
Ah, so what's the story with von Grolls?
A very wealthy and important family. The mother is quite devout, known to spend a lot of time in prayer. Old von Groller's been sick for years. Can't even get out of bed.
So, who runs affairs?
That would be young Hendel. They say he's quite successful.
Before her death, I heard she often went to dances.
There's nothing wrong or surprising about that. But maybe she found someone there.
Maybe. Prokop was convinced that she went to see William. That was actually the only name he mentioned.
That doesn't mean anything.
It means she had some relationship with William, or at least knew him.
And now, most importantly, Yarka was pregnant when they killed her.
I didn't know that. Do you know for sure? So they gutted her?
To make it impossible to tell she was pregnant? I wouldn't be surprised.
May God forgive us.
Do you know who she was pregnant with? Because if we know who the father is, we'll likely know who the killer is.
She didn't tell Prokop.
It had to be someone from those dances. Maybe William.
Prokop is convinced that she was murdered by that bard, William.
And I agree with him. I heard the daughters of important men come to see him. It even went so far he had to flee the city. And the moment he's back, there's another murder.
Really? But I found out you accused Prokop first, Lumir.
What? Why?
It doesn't matter. It was a mistake, and I paid for it.
And were you as sure then as you are now about William?
I don't think so. But he's a skirt chaser. If he got Yarka pregnant, then...
Perhaps. But why would he kill and mutilate her? He could have just run away.
But then he could never come back.
Why not? He could come back a year later once things have died down, the child would be born, the shame forgotten, and nobody would bring it up again.
I suppose that makes sense. That's all I was able to find out.
You still found out more than I did.
But it's not enough. We still don't know who the killer is.
But we can agree that she was killed because of her pregnancy, can't we?
Agreed. Somebody got rid of her to make sure nobody found out she was pregnant.
I'm sure William wanted...
William isn't the only man with a prick. And he certainly didn't use it to strangle her to death.
Such language. What are you trying to say?
That making babies and murdering folks require different tools.
But who would it be if not the father?
Someone who stood to lose something because of the child. Money, reputation, honor.
Freedom?
I managed to find Stanya.
Alive? You found her alive?
I did. Alive and well. Hiding with the charcoal burners.
So, she's not one of our victims?
She is. She just managed to escape the killer. She said she was attacked on her way home from the baths. She heard somebody talking in a side street, but it was empty. But when she walked by, someone grabbed her by the throat and started strangling her.
And how did she manage to get away?
She was holding an empty pitcher, and she smashed the killer in the face with it. He either got startled or hurt, but he let her go.
Did she get a look at him? Did she take his eye out or something?
No, she didn't stop to find out. Just ran. Which is probably why she survived.
And what about the blood in the bedroom?
She cut her hand on the broken pitcher. She didn't stay in her room for long. She was still so scared that she grabbed her things and ran off to her beloved charcoal burner. She said she returned from the baths in the evening regularly, and somebody knew exactly which way she would take and where to wait for her.
You mean someone followed her beforehand to figure out where to ambush her?
Who knew that she went to the baths?
Apparently everyone in the tavern. She didn't hide the fact. She also said she was sure it wasn't Mole. He may be a pig, but the evening she ran home, he was in bed snoring. Well, according to Stanya, the murderer had a terribly strong grip. Her neck was bruised for almost a month.
Doesn't almost every man have a strong grip?
Depending on what they take in hand every day. A tankard, a quill, or a hammer.
Except none of our suspects are miners or blacksmiths, eh? Besides that, she also recalled hearing two voices in the alley. Someone was talking to the killer.
So we have a witness. Now, just to find him.
Or an accomplice. If I remember correctly, the other one must have seen the whole thing, right? And he didn't go to report it.
I asked Stanya if she knew Prokop. She said no.
Maybe she just doesn't remember him. Or he gave a different name, or...
I don't think Father Prokop is the type to frequent the worst tavern in Kuttenberg.
According to Stanya, the murderer didn't say a word the entire time.
That's strange, right? I'd expect him to at least call her a whore.
The only word he uttered was when she smashed him in the face with the pitcher. He said Scheisse.
So, we're looking for a German?
Even I say Scheiße sometimes, and I'm not German.
Stanya admitted that she knows William. He flirted with her and tried to get to know her better, but nothing came of it.
And that's probably why I wanted to kill her. And likely rape her before that.
Well, perhaps, but Stanya doesn't think so. She's sure it wasn't William, and no matter what they say about him, in her eyes he's a good lad. And that's all that Stanya told me.
I'm so glad that girl is alive.
Me too. At least someone's had a little luck. Does she want to come back, or will she stay with the charcoal burners?
I don't think she'll come back. She's so scared now they'll come back for her, she doesn't even leave the house. I managed to find Zdena.
You found her? Is she alive too?
No. Unfortunately, she's dead.
And where did you find her?
Pretty far away. Near the mill she used to sell things at. Someone caught her in the forest when she was coming home with a load of coin and killed her. I reckon she put up a hell of a fight. So the killer got nervous and ended things quickly.
So he didn't strangle or mutilate her?
She'd been lying in the woods for a long time, so I couldn't really tell. But he definitely didn't hack her up like the others. Judging by what her accomplice said, she robbed someone good. She had so much jewelry on her, she could hardly carry it. And what's odd is when she was murdered, the killer left her basket of valuables behind.
So I reckon he didn't kill her for the money.
Father Prokop came looking for Zdena and nearly cursed her on the spot.
What did he have in common with a thief?
He had also looked after her, but unlike Yarka, she ended up on the street, and he took it badly. Zdena tried to rob young von Grolle. It's possible she succeeded.
Von Grolle? Yarka worked for them, didn't she?
Ah, that whole family is suspicious.
Assumptions. Nothing more.
I'd say it's pretty obvious. Why else would I have found that ring on her?
They just left the ring by her body. That's odd, isn't it?
It wasn't by her body. It was inside of it. I don't know if she swallowed it herself or someone shoved it in her.
Ah, that's awful. But I can't say it surprises me.
My mouth is starting to hurt from all this blabbering.
So are my ears and head.
Come now, we're nearly there. We just need to find our suspect. So, Henry, who do you think did it?
I suspect one of the von Grolles.
What leads you to think that?
Are you sure it wasn't William?
Zdena robbed von Grolle.
That's true.
It's all coming together, isn't it?
Yarka was pregnant. And if the father was young von Grolle, it would make sense if he got rid of her.
Sakura, you're right.
But William could have fucked her too. Just saying.
Yarka was their maidservant until she started rebelling, right?
Yes. Do you think she was rebelling because of someone in particular?
Perhaps the young lord?
That's possible.
Alice had a young and wealthy suitor. And young von Grolle fits both descriptions.
True, true.
We could be getting somewhere.
And that's all I can pin on him.
So, do we agree that it was young von Groll?
Well, old von Grolle can't do much now, can he?
So do we really agree that our most likely suspect is young von Grolle?
Aye. I agree.
I don't have a problem with it. Little rich boys are capable of anything. But what are we gonna do about it? Our suspicions aren't enough.
They'll just laugh at us without something more tangible.
So, you want to search their house?
There's nothing else we can do. There must be a clever way to do it.
We have to find some evidence. None of our conjecture is enough. What will we do?
You could sneak in there.
Or break in.
Catherine, that's not necessary. The young lad wants to learn swordsmanship, and the old one is sick and always calling for a physician.
So I can either pretend to be a sawbones, or a swordsman, or break in? That's a lot of options.
You're a clever lad. You'll figure it out.
Oh, yes. That ointment of yours is a gift from heaven. Now they only ate when there's a storm.
Well, look around!
Crime
Crime of all
that's
kinds
exactly
is
how it
surging in the city, with dubious characters moving in.
Come, tools! What would you like?
Show me your... I'd like to discuss the price.
Well, I'm glad you found what you were looking for, sir.
Knives! Knives for sale! Iron and steel!
Greetings. It's good. What would you like, friend?
I'll have a look at the wares. Let's talk about the price.
Very well.
How's this?
You'll have to make a better offer for this. Aye, you'll convince me with that price.
Thank you, sir. And come again. What would you like?
Show me your... Word about the prop.
Well,
What would you say to this?
less. Aye, you...
I was glad to be of help to you, good sir.
Come and take your pick.
What will it be?
Show me your ware. I'd like to discuss the price.
Very well. I'm done, Heck.
Greetings. I'll have a look at...
All quality wares.
Hope you find what you're looking for next time, sir.
What do you need, sir?
Show me your...
Fine, Tedford now.
Listen to your liking, sir.
Emerging in the city, with dubious characters moving in. Charlatans, sellers of worthless tampucha, really?
My humble respect.
Can I help you?
Is this the house of the Von Grolle family?
Yes?
I've come on account of old Von Grolle. I hear he's seriously ill, so I came to offer my services as a healer.
You aren't the first. Why do you think you might succeed?
I understand potions and how to prepare them. I'm certain I can find something that'll help your master.
Just as long as you don't poison him.
Even poisons are used in healing. The trick is to use the right amount.
I know. My apologies. You evidently know your trade well. Come inside. But before you begin your healing, speak to the mistress of the house. She can certainly tell you more about what ails the master. See you soon, my friend.
I've come to treat your husband, ma'am.
Is that so? So Thaddeus has checked you out? Fine, then. Perhaps God will finally have mercy on Gotslin. You'll find him on the floor above, in the bedchamber to the left of the stairs. But I suppose you'll first want to learn a bit more about his illness?
Tell me all you know.
It's been a long time since Gotslin fell ill. At first, he just lost his strength and tired easily. Nobody thought it might be an illness yet. Not until the trembling came.
What trembling? Like with chills?
Not at all. At first, his hands started shaking. But over time, the shaking got worse. And he got it in his legs. And the stronger it was, the weaker my husband got. Nowadays, he can't even get out of bed. He can't talk properly either. So he spends most of his time alone. If he'd at least ask God for mercy. But that sinner is not even capable of that.
How long has he been ill, exactly?
It must be years now that he's been this bad. But his hands started to shake earlier than that. God only knows if it isn't from all that endless drinking of his.
You say he drank? Did he drink a lot?
Uncontrollably. But if only that was all.
What else? Did he eat too much meat?
Yes. Yes, a lot of meat.
But that's not all, is it?
That's none of your business. You came to treat him, not to hear his confession.
If I'm to treat him, then I have to know everything.
Fine, then. But if I ever hear that you told anyone, I'll have you clapped in the stocks and have your tongue pulled out. My husband's a heathen and an unbeliever who fornicated with every other maid and wench. He even stooped to those fallen women in the baths. Men are prone to that. I know all about that. Like father, like son. And I won't permit this demon seed to take my son too.
I'll cure your husband.
I don't know. In my opinion, you'll be wasting your effort with Godslin. He's beyond help. It's natural and just that God punished him. But not even the greatest sinner deserves to suffer so long. So I hope you'll at least be able to relieve his pain.
What else is bothering him, besides the trembling?
I don't really like talking about it, but he can't defecate properly.
And how is his stool when he does defecate?
Check it yourself. You're the physician here.
What does he get to eat now? If he's constipated, that might have something to do with it.
The cook prepares his meals. You can ask her.
Do you have any idea what caused his illness?
Am I a physician? Find out yourself.
Well, you might have some idea. Was he injured in the past? Did he lead an unhealthy life? You'll know more about these things than me.
I don't know about any old injuries, but Gotslin never lived in moderation. He drank a lot, and he burdened his soul in other ways as well.
I'll go and take a look at him.
God be with you, sir.
I came to heal your master, and I'd like to know what you cook for him.
But of course, sir. Mostly light meat, poultry and fish, and then lots of vegetables. One Sawbones already told us what the old gent should eat. But he don't eat much anyways, so it don't make no sense. He told us to give him some wine sparingly, but my mistress banned it.
Which physician treated him? Do you recall?
Some gent called Albeek from Moravia, I heard. He came, looked at the master, and then just told us what to cook for him.
And why doesn't he eat?
How should I know? He don't say a word as the day is long. He used to be very fond of chasing women and boozing, true, but at least he was always merry. Now he's just a grouch. I ain't surprised he don't like his food.
Why did she forbid him to drink?
Master used to drink a lot, and mistress weren't too pleased about it. She says drinking is a sin, and the devil's lure.
Thanks. That'll do me.
Farewell, sir.
I'd like to ask about something.
Ask what you want.
That's enough for...
Take care, my friend.
What the hell? That's hair. All kinds of brown. I bet it belonged to those dead girls. If this isn't proof, nothing is.
Just like the cook said, he hasn't eaten much at all.
Christ, pardon me.
I heard about this fella who always got heartburn just before it snowed. You could team up.
Fine day. All we need is a fine wear. Get it up when it's
Come and take your pick. Three cripples, all right.
Courage.
I'll be right.
My respects.
Good day to you. What brings you here?
Are you in charge of the construction of St. Barbara's? I hear you sent for a blacksmith. Well, here I am. My name is Henry.
Johann Parler is my name, from the Parler Building Works. I think that name should ring some bells?
I'm truly pleased to meet you, sir. So, what do you need? Nails? Carpenter's axes?
Close, but not quite. I need something, let's say, a bit more delicate.
More delicate, you say? And what exactly does that mean?
Oh, there's nothing to fear. Everything will be quite above board. If we are careful. You've never heard of my father, Peter?
I can't say as I have.
He had a divine gift, but he didn't get the chance to see all of his wonderful buildings completed. That task fell upon my shoulders.
It must be a great honor to continue with such a great work of architecture.
Honor? A great responsibility is what it is. Imagine I make a bad decision or make a mistake in the calculations. And this building, which my father oversaw for so many years, suddenly comes tumbling down. And that's why I called for you. Construction work is going slower than I'd hoped. Nevertheless, I'm still thinking ahead. Therefore, I'd like to conceal a protective talisman among the roof beams of the cathedral.
Why is that a problem?
Talismans don't grow on trees. I know of 3 here in town, but they're not for sale.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
The first is the horseshoe hanging above the door of the tailors at the horse market. They say he once got lost in a snowstorm, and St. Martin himself found him and brought him by horse to the town. He gave him a horseshoe as a reminder.
That seems a bit suspicious.
Don't speak, just listen. The next talisman is a commemorative coin set into the cellar wall above the tavern across from the town hall. And the third is a nail somewhere in the beams of the potter's house in the Czech Quarter. They say he brought it from Sedlet Monastery years ago. I want you to get all 3, smelt them down, and forge an axe out of them that I can use to protect St. Barbara's. Putting a carpenter's axe in the truss work is an old tradition.
And no one will know it's made out of a horseshoe and a coin. Stealing, forging magical items, isn't that all a bit dangerous?
Perhaps a bit, but doesn't the House of God deserve protection more than a few burghers?
Well, if you think so, why don't you try explaining it to them? This won't be an easy job, sir. And it won't be cheap either.
Have no fear. This is not a matter I intend to scrimp over.
All right, I'll do it. If the pay is good.
It'll be more than good. Have no fear. But don't come to see me before it's done. The less we're seen together, the better.
Christ! Pardon me.
Halt! I'm talking
God
to you.
be with you. Keep the peace and we'll stay friends.
You match
Greetings.
the description of a woman we're supposed to detain.
I thought it was old Bart, but then I heard him coughing his lungs up in the yard again today.
Not a chance. That old outlive us all.
I need to discuss that visit to the Von Grollers.
Excellent. Let's find Catherine. You can tell us everything.
I think we were right. Something seriously fishy there.
Well, don't keep us in suspense. What did you find out?
You found something there, didn't you? Evidence?
I certainly did. In the young lord's room.
What was it?
This. He had it in a chest in his room. Locks of hair. All brown, but all a bit different. They're definitely from those murdered girls.
Hair? But that's not enough. That definitely won't suffice as proof.
Why wouldn't it? He took them as a keepsake from the dead girls, as a trophy. It was him!
But nobody will believe us. We need more than just hair. A bloody dress or the murder weapon.
And to be honest, I don't think we're going to find anything like that. They're pretty careful to cover their tracks.
Damn it. We're fucked. If we at least had a witness.
And what about 3 witnesses at once?
Where are you going to find 3 witnesses when you don't even have one?
I don't yet, but... Look, we're almost certain young Hendel did it. So what if we set a trap and catch him in the act?
And how do you want to do that? I mean, we don't know who he's planning to murder next.
We'll set someone up. Some brunette.
You want to sacrifice some poor girl?
No, nobody's going to get hurt. We'll be keeping our eye on her the whole time.
The only one I can think of is Stanya. And I highly doubt that she'd want to risk her life again.
She won't have to. I'll do it.
But you haven't had anything to do with him. He'll see through it immediately. It'll fail.
We'll wait until the lad's out of the house. Maybe we'll dress Catherine up a bit, and she'll go asking for the young lord, father of her child. When Hendel comes home and hears what happened, he'll come looking for her to fix things up.
I'll cause such a scene, they'll be talking about it for years. Then we'll tell them where he can find me, and we've got him.
If you say so. But where can we do it? We can't do it here. They'd figure it out pretty quick.
We can use one of the rooms here in the tavern. It has only one way out. You'll be hiding across the way, and jump out at the right moment. I repeat, at the right moment.
Don't worry, we won't take our eyes off you.
Where's Hendel? I need to talk to him! Do you hear me? I have to talk to him about our wedding. I won't be left alone with his child.
What are you screeching about, you ninny? There's no Hendel here. Certainly not for the likes of you.
Do you hear that, folks? He fucks me from all sides. Gets me with child, and now he doesn't want to know me.
Get rid of her. Disgrace.
Oh, so a poor woman has to suffer because of a man's lust. As if it wasn't already bad enough before.
What lies are you spouting, you strumpet? Goodman Hendel never laid eyes on you. Besides, you're too old for him. Nobody will believe your lies.
Old am I? He came to me himself because he wanted a mature woman to breed with. And he never even pulled it out. And he filled me up like a wineskin. Suit yourself. I'll give you some time to think it over. But either you come up with an offer of marriage by evening, or first thing in the morning I'll go to the bailiff. And I'll be damn sure to get justice from him.
It's open.
I've come to talk with you.
Where's Hendel?
Hendel? You wanton whore! Debauching my son!
nanny goat like you. The others were at least young, but you... Oh, Christ, the trials I have to endure. A husband with both feet in the grave and a son who'll fuck anything with a hole in it. Slice her up so no one will recognize her, and in case what she says is true, gut her too.
Gutting, is it? I can help you with that.
Hit that bitch, you fool!
Show what you're made of.
Before I finish you off, I have to ask, why the fuck did you kill them?
I'll tell you, but you aren't going to like it.
I'm listening.
Because it's the right thing to do.
What's right about murder?
All those whores had it coming.
You know that's not true. Stanya hardly knew Hendel, and you still tried to kill her. How many of the others had the same story?
Rubbish. I saw it with my own 2 eyes, and not just me. He might have met the alehouse wench by chance, but they were intimate together. The mistress was convinced they were meeting in the evenings.
Well, she might have been convinced, but that doesn't mean she was right. That girl had a sweetheart.
That's even worse. He surely wasn't a rich and important person like Master Hendel, and she would even cheat on our master with him? Disgusting.
Confess, then. How many of them did you kill altogether?
Not enough! There's always more who deserve it. They climb out of their holes like rats and infect respectable families. Just like that companion of yours. She certainly sins as much as she breathes, the lured whore.
Oh, you're completely mad. My God.
Don't take the Lord's name in vain. It's a deadly sin.
Then I suppose we'll be meeting in hell one day. It was all Mandalina's idea, wasn't it? She wanted them killed.
And can you blame her? That first harlot was already itching to become Mistress von Grole. That bastard of hers wasn't Hendel's anyway, but he was stupid that time. He'd have believed her. Now he knows very well, luckily, that they're all whores. He doesn't cry for them anymore.
And Mandalina just came to you like that, out of the blue. And you immediately obeyed her?
Well, one time she came to my chambers and she told me she knew very well that Yarka rejected me and that she'd started an affair with Master Hendel, while she was also spreading her legs for others in the evenings. And that she had to be punished before she brought misfortune on someone. And...
Go on. I'm listening.
That she deserved to die for all her sins? And she was right?
Don't worry. I'm not going to kill you. I'll hand you over to the city law.
I'm not worried, I'll have you know. My conscience is clear. They were all nobodies anyways. The bailiff should thank me for cleansing his city of them.
Now, shut your mouth already. Don't make me regret my decision.
Catherine!
Catherine, wait!
What should I wait for? I'm gonna cut that bitch's throat.
How dare you? Hands off, you heretical scum!
Shut up!
Let her speak. I still don't understand what actually went on here. I have some questions for you.
I'll tell you nothing, you serpent! Nothing! You can't keep me here. Let me go! I'm a woman of worth.
If you won't speak now, then the executioner will loosen your tongue when your feet stop burning. But why wait, right? I'll cut your ear off. Maybe both of them. All you need to talk is a tongue.
No! Let me go!
Why did you do it, for Christ's sake?
Don't blaspheme, you heathen.
Come on, answer him or it's gonna hurt.
My husband, he drank a lot, ran around with whores and didn't pray enough. And God punished him for it. I couldn't allow the same thing to happen to Hendel.
And why kill those girls? Why not just talk to him about it?
I tried, but he wouldn't listen to me. He told me he wanted to sow his wild oats before finding a wife.
So your own son didn't listen to you? And you started killing the girls
who seduced him and emboldened him with their brazenness? If they wanted to whore themselves out, they'll pay for it in hell. But there's no way they were going to drag my Hendel there with them.
And what about Hendel? Did he know what you were doing?
That I was taking care of his immortal soul and eliminating his temptation? Of course not. But one day he'll be grateful to me for it.
He's going to jump for joy. His mother a mad woman, and his servant a murderer.
Speak politely to me, you whore.
Henry, if you have any more questions, you'd better ask them quickly. I'm sorely tempted to finish this here and now.
And what about the hair in Hendel's chest? You're trying to tell me he wasn't involved, but he was keeping their hair?
Well, he kept asking about those whores of his. So we always brought him a lock of hair. We told him it was from them, as a parting gift.
Well, he didn't find that strange?
Out of sight, out of mind. He always found some new harlot anyway.
There was no blood where Alice was found. Where did you kill them?
That was up to Thaddeus. He told me something about an abandoned barn. I only told him to cut them up thoroughly.
Why?
Why? As a warning. So those whores knew what awaited them. To put the fear of God in them.
Do you realize you also killed girls who had nothing to do with Hendel?
That's not possible. I saw them all with my own 2 eyes, chatting with him and giggling.
And what about that alehouse wench?
That strumpet. I saw how she treated him. It's a damned shame she got away.
But she really had nothing to do with Hendel.
She wouldn't have smiled at him the way she did if she didn't want to fornicate with him. They all deserved it. Every single one. And better sooner than later. That trollop in our service even got herself with child. And she wanted to keep it. The slut.
And what about Zdenna? All she did was rob him, and you killed her anyway.
She fawned over him like all the others. He even gave her a ring, which she probably sold immediately. She deserved it. She was a thief, and stealing is a mortal sin.
I'd better stop asking questions.
Burn in hell, all of you.
What'll we do with her now?
Let's take her to the bailiff. She'll get justice there.
We don't have to go anywhere. I'll give her justice right here, right now.
But we can't do that. She has to go before the court. The law must be upheld.
Did you hear her? I mean, she hasn't got her head on straight. And what judgment will there be? She's from a wealthy family. Nothing will happen to her.
Don't you dare judge me. Only God can do that.
Shut your mouth, you sow. You judged and punished some random girls, and now you'll blaspheme like that?
Our Lord directed me. I did it through His will.
Do you hear that? And you want to let her live?
But that's not justice. It's murder. Henry, won't you say something?
I told you, don't you dare judge me. I am a servant of God.
Put away that knife, Catherine. We'll hand her over to the law.
Don't tell me you'd let her get away with it.
She's not going to get away with anything. She killed so many people. If she's lucky, they'll just hang her. If not, she'll be buried alive.
That's right. We caught her in the act, and she's confessed to us. They can't just let her go.
Of course they can. It's I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You'll see that all these rich burgher and lords have their own justice.
That won't happen. I guarantee you she...
You can't guarantee a thing. You're not the bailiff, and you won't be judging her.
She's right, though. We can't just let her out into the streets. She must be punished. And if not, then you can always go and pay her a visit, right? You know very well who she is.
All right then, you last of the righteous. Take that viper away, and may God protect you if they set her free.
Don't worry. I'll take her away.
Well, this was a lot stranger than I expected. Do you think we did the right thing?
I'm not sure of anything anymore. Not even myself. Can we just be quiet for a while?
As you wish. But still, it was damned odd.
Aye, that it was. Let's go and see Lumia. I wonder how he fared.
Tell us, Lumir. How did it turn out?
Did it end well? Oh, we're not going to get into trouble now, are we?
It ended well, and I didn't even tell anyone about you.
I'm surprised it worked out. Both of them must have been lying through their teeth.
Well, if it came to it, I would have had to bring you both in as witnesses. But fortune smiled upon us.
They didn't admit to it, did they?
Sort of. The servant shouted that he was forced into it by Mandalina. And Mandalina completely lost her mind and started screaming that it was the right thing to do. And anyone in her place would have done the same.
My God!
Oh, if she had an ounce of sense, she would never have started murdering. What'll happen to them now?
Thaddeus will hang. No doubt about that. And Mandalina, right now she's locked up. We'll see what happens to her.
I knew it!
She'll be punished, and not hurt anyone else. That's enough for me.
And what will you do now? Will you go back to the town hall, Lumir?
It's true I've made amends in the eyes of the law, but I probably won't go back now. Maybe better to write something about it. Who knows?
Won't you go back to drinking?
No, it didn't help anything, did it? If I had just persevered instead, I should have pitied those girls, and not myself.
Don't fret. It was a terrible mess, and all three of us had to put our heads together.
Yes. You helped me when I was in need, and didn't even know it. Maybe I'll just keep helping as long as I can.
Helping others is the best thing a person can do in this world.
And what will you do, Catherine? Will you stay here?
My work isn't done yet. I have to work in the tavern here, and then we'll see. Maybe I'll find work elsewhere.
Do you think we could have done better?
Everything can always be done better. But most important is to do it well and quickly.
Catherine is right. I'll still be kicking myself. Maybe to my dying day. But none of us did anything bad.
That's not entirely true.
I'm talking about innocent people. No more girls died because of you. And that's good.
Well, let's go our separate ways.
Thank you, lad. You prevented future murders. And you also saved me. And for that, I will be eternally grateful.
I thank you both. Without you, the devil knows how it would have turned out.
Here you are, as a keepsake. And perhaps as a reward. And if you ever pass by, look us up.
Yes, here is a reward, Henry. And Lumiere, we shall certainly meet again.
I don't understand how you always get people to tell you anything you want.
We women have it in our blood.
What, spying?
No, you rogue. Knowing how to listen. And also how to size people up.
It'd be good to learn a few tricks from you.
I can't now. Come back later.
I'd like to learn a few tricks.
I can't now.
Ka! 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 Quick! Quick! Ka! Ka!
Hey! You can't walk around at night without a light. Do you want me to arrest you? Light a torch! Now I know why you wanted to be in the dark. Anyway, carry on.
a moment.
Calm
what
down!
are you prowling about
Surely
here for?
there's a
Get
What's going on here?
As you can see, something slaughtered all these cows.
Not just something. It was that creature from hell. I saw with my own eyes how it fled back to its hole in the mine.
Give it a rest, would you?
I won't. What'll happen when that monster comes for us next?
Seems we've been fortunate running into you then, eh?
I'm Henry of Scallis.
I'm Marion, the local priest. You look like someone who knows how to fight and isn't scared off all that easily. Just the kind of man for the job.
dawdle about here all night.
Tell me what happened from the beginning. What killed those cattle?
I was in my cottage when I heard such strange noises. It made my skin crawl. So I went out and saw this. And that beast what did it running away. How am I supposed to make a living now? These cows were my most treasured possessions.
What sort of strange noises did you hear? Can you describe them in some way?
It was like someone dragging chains along the ground. Neither men nor wolves make them kinds of noises. And demons carry chains so they can catch sinners with them. Everyone knows that.
And what about you? Did you hear it too?
Unfortunately, no. I was in the church when Vladimir sent for me, saying they'd found those carcasses.
Didn't you say you saw someone running away from here?
Not someone, but something. A monster from hell itself.
Just an old wives' tale.
I swear by all that's holy, the beast ran from here straight back to the old mine.
What did the beast look like?
I only saw it from afar. But before it got lost in the thicket, I saw its giant pointed snout.
Couldn't it have just been an animal? Maybe a wolf or a boar?
Can't you see my poor girls here? What kind of wolf would leave wounds like these? Oh, and the monster ran on 3 legs.
3 legs?
Aye, as sure as my name's Vladimir.
You mentioned a pit of hell. Is that located somewhere around here?
That's just a local fable.
It's no fable. In the days when silver was mined here, terrible misfortune took place in the mine. A pit to hell itself opened up there.
The mine shuttering fell apart and the gallery collapsed. That's all.
Shuttering my arse! It was a pit to hell! Shuttering don't just blow up on its own. But hell didn't scare good old Father Richard, so he set off into the tunnels and struck a deal with them demons. Ever since then, we brought food to the mine for them every second Sunday, and they leave us in peace in return.
Father Richard was a crackpot. You're lucky to finally have a normal priest here now.
A priest who forbade us from bringing the offerings, and now you can both see where that's got us.
Has anyone actually looked around in the mine?
Only old Father Richard. Nobody else has ever had the courage. The very mine shaft stinks like hell itself. So, we only ever lower a bucket down with the offering, and then clear off quick.
After the cave-in, the miners left to work in Grund. Seems they'd no longer felt the vein was worth the trouble here.
When did all this happen?
It's got to be at least 5 years now.
And you've been taking food there ever since?
That's right. And nothing's ever happened until now. All because our new priest here forbade us from bringing offerings.
Where's Father Richard now?
He returned to his maker not long ago. And now I preach here in his place. The moment I caught word of that foolish superstition, I put a stop to any offerings.
And you can see what that caused.
It's only happenstance. This isn't the first, nor the last time that wolves dare to venture into town.
I agree with Father Marion. I grew up next to mines, and we never came across any pit to hell. And there are wolves running rampage around these parts.
Wise words.
Tell me something about yourselves, so I know who I have the honor of speaking to.
Like I said, I'm Marion, and I come to Old Kutna to preach.
Aren't you, a bit young for a preacher?
I finished my trivium at Prague University last year, and I wanted to continue. But my father decided I'd had enough education and found me a place in the order in Sedlets. So now I implement my theological learning in this lovely county as a preacher.
I'm Vladimir, the mine foreman. I'm the eldest of everyone here, And the people actually respect me, unlike our this here preacher from Prague. And them cows were mine.
This whole thing is very odd. How do you want me to help?
The massacre of those cattle is a horrible thing. But the heresy that's been tolerated here on account of the former priest is even worse.
Old Father Richard would chase you out of town, you stuffed frock.
Marion may be young, but he's still a priest, and he deserves a bit of respect.
Thank you, Henry. Since you're the only one here uninvolved, I'd like you to go into the old mine and discover the truth of this old wives' tale.
And while you're there, take some peace offering with you. Otherwise, I wouldn't even dare going.
What am I to do with you? All right. Henry, take their offering with you as well. You'll do just as those wretches did before you, and then wait to see if any demons show their faces or not.
Wait for demons? You want to send the poor fella to his death?
Don't listen to him, Henry. Faith in God will protect you, but before you go through the mine, we'll have a look around the village. Then we'll all meet at the entrance to the mine.
All right, I'll help you. But what about the offering?
A bit of food will do. Here you go. We always lowered the food down in a bucket. The main thing is not to go down the shaft yourself, lest you anger hell.
Don't be frightened. It's just an old shaft.
You'll find it to the west of here. The whole area is deserted and most of the entrances are blocked off. You go past the mine buildings until you reach the one that's collapsed to the ground. The mine entrance is next to it. Good luck, lad. You're going to need it.
God be with you.
I'm sorry!
Hey! You can't walk around at night without a light. Do you want me to arrest you? Light a torch. And lo, there was light. And he saw that it was good. Now move along.
Quick! 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 Gah! Go!
It really does smell like hell here. Might there be some truth to the stories?
Oh, Jesus. What a diabolical stink. Ugh. All right then. Let's see if we can't lure the devil out.
I? And where did all my things go? Jesus, what the fuck is going on here? What's this? Did the knight write this? Taras Mura. What in God's name happened here? Dead end. Fuck, I don't want to die down here.
Terribilis Deus de Sanctuario Suo.
More entries. Also written by the knight? The pit to hell. And that knight is guarding it.
Who goes there? I am the shield of God, demon. I am Taras. Benedictus Deus! Gloria Patri! Vade Satana, humiliare suppotenti manu Dei, contra me set fugi, invocato anubis sancto et terribili nomine, quem inferi tremunt. It's still alive? How is it still alive? So you live, demon. Not much longer. God is with me, demon. You don't stand a chance. Terribilis Deus, de sanctuario suo. I'll still have you! Terribilis Deus, de sanctuario suo.
Jesus. His helmet's completely stuck. I can't get it off. Looks like some kind of contract. It must be important if he locked it away. The knight's been guarding this place against demons. It's written here that someone is supposed to come and take his place. But who? Ah, everything's here. All right. Even more entries. My God. How long has he been down here? So many corpses. This is where the mining accident must have happened. And that stink! Could there really be a gateway to hell here?
Henry, what happened down there?
A mad knight lived down in the mine. He must have completely lost his head and killed your cattle.
A knight? In the mine?
Where's he now?
He's dead. We fought, and I won. His name was Taras Mura. After the accident in the mine, Taras entered into a contract with Father Richard to guard the mine. He spent 5 whole years underground and watched over the pit of hell to ensure nothing ever came crawling out. The locals then brought him food in return.
We never knew anything about a contract.
Father Richard must have feared the locals wouldn't agree to such a thing. So he came up with the contract to guard the pit of hell.
It's true. Father Richard was the only one who knew about Taras.
So this whole time, we haven't been feeding demons, but a knight who was protecting us from them?
And everything was fine until I forbade you. I can't believe I'm to blame for the death of a good Christian. I'll never forgive myself for as long as I live.
Well, you couldn't have known. But it looks like you won't have anyone to punish for the slaughtered cattle.
If the knight was protecting us and now he's dead, what will happen to us now? Who'll protect us from hell?
You should place your faith in God and not try to appease hell. Instead, be good Christians under Father Marion's guidance.
Thank you, Henry. As it is written in the Bible, believe, and your faith will save you. Hellish forces have no power over good Christians.
Father Marion, forgive me for doubting you. We'll go and pray, and never again will we take anything to the mine.
We'll have the mine filled in, along with the pit of hell beneath it. And you, Henry, are due a reward. Here you are. Go with God. I'll take care of the rest here on my own. Put in a good word for you to the other priests in the region. Anthony of Visuka and Prosnata of Rabosh could both teach you something.
Thanks.
Till we meet again.
Good day.
Greetings.
I was sent by Betty, the bathkeeper from Kuttenberg. Do you know her?
Aye, we know her, sweetie. What can we do for you?
I'm supposed to pick something up here. I don't know what, but I reckon you might.
Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. What's it to you?
Well, Betty said it would be a surprise.
She was right about that. A surprise for you and us, handsome. When do we leave?
Hold on. I'm meant to be picking you up.
Aye, all of us. We're supposed to work at Betty's bathhouse.
Where do you know Betty from?
We met by chance. We were sitting in a tavern, complaining about our jobs. Before that, we was in a bathhouse in Backwater, the same as this one. And it wasn't nothing good. Betty heard us, and there and then she offered us something better in Kuttenberg.
All of you?
That's right. She said she had big plans for her bathhouse. But the main thing is it's the city. Nobody in their right mind would say no.
Are you girls going to work as bathmaids?
What do you think we're going to do?
I don't know. I thought maybe...
What? We might want to join a nunnery? Ha! No chance. We're all experienced. We know what the job's about.
Can we go?
You expect us to walk to Kuttenberg? Betty said she'd send a wagon for us.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Give me a moment. I'll sort it out.
Oh, Christ.
God bless you, sir.
I'm looking for Matzek, the wagoner. Is that you?
Who's asking?
I'm Henry. And you are...
Look, I have to go. Farewell.
Relax. Betty from Kuttenberg sent me. She said you were supposed to bring her something, but instead you're still hanging around here. So she wants to know what's going on. If you need help, I'm your man.
Thank God you're here. This job will be the death of me. Everyone thought it was suspicious that I was driving girls to and fro.
Do you mean the girls you were supposed to deliver to Betty?
What girls do you think I mean? Getting them there is not that simple, though. A wagon full of girls is suspicious. Everyone watches, and then they remember your face.
What of it? There's no law against driving girls into the city.
It's just with my face. Everyone wonders what pretty girls are doing with a bloke like me. On top of that, I had a dream. I dreamt I was stopped by soldiers. And soldiers are bastards. They treat you like dirt. Like in Apotovitz, they stop every wagon and check what's on it.
Even if we're stopped, so what? We're not carrying anything we're not allowed to.
Just as you say. Nothing we're not allowed to carry.
Even if there is trouble, I'll deal with it. I've dealt with worse.
We haven't done nothing, have we? And if anything happens, I don't know you. Never seen you before in my life.
You get the wagon ready while I go and get the girls.
Just don't be too obvious about it. I don't want no one to see us together.
Yeah.
What would you like this fine morning?
Show me your...
I hope you find what you're looking for next time, good sir.
God be with you. Greetings.
Can we go?
If we don't have to walk, then sure.
Your wagon awaits outside the tavern, my dears. Get on.
What do you think it'll be like there?
Oh, Clara said it's wonderful there. Lovely clothes, shops full of all kinds of stuff, and never a dull moment. And she said everyone's really... cultivized.
Rich customers. That's the main thing. I'm sick of villagers asking if they can pay later.
Rich and gentlemanly.
That young lad who's escorting us, I bet he lives there. Maybe he'll tell us more.
Aye, ask him then.
Why me? You ask him.
Sir?
I'm not some lord. Just call me Henry. What do you want?
What's it like in the city?
The city's big and beautiful. Everyone there is living on the pig's back.
You're having me on.
No, I'm not. You'll see for yourself soon enough. It's not like in a village. Everything's a lot bigger.
And the fellas? Are they all bigger as well?
You bet they are. You can forget all about country bumpkins now.
And are you a big fella from the city as well?
What do you mean?
Do you work at the bathhouse as well?
No. I have other business to take care of. I'm just helping Betty out for now.
But I expect you'll be coming to see us, though. Won't you?
You read me like a book.
If I knew how to read, I wouldn't be working in a bathhouse. But I have other talents.
I'm sure you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
I'll gladly show you my talents if you come and see me. Actually, I wanted to ask you, well...
I find it hard to believe a girl like you could be shy.
Right, there's no point beating about the bush. Are you more into tits or bottoms?
Is that what you lot talk about all the time?
Don't change the subject. I want to know.
Definitely backside.
Arse? Why's that?
Don't know what I can tell you. Maybe because it's a nice thing and you know how to wiggle them.
You bet we do. If you saw how I could wiggle my ass.
I can... well imagine.
Hear that, girls? He's an arse man.
Here I am.
How'd you like my new girls?
The girls are very sweet. I couldn't have wished for a nicer journey.
I knew you'd hit it off. I expect you didn't get bored on the journey.
I certainly didn't. What do you want to do next?
There's still some tidying up to do inside, and then we've got to get the word out.
Betty! What a lovely surprise! I see you're doing the place up.
Nice to see you, Adam. What can I do for you?
I came to see how you're cleaning up the pigsty. It's hard to believe. It's the same building.
Right. You've had a look. Now get lost.
Is that any way to treat guests? What would the old man think?
I don't think we've met. I'm Henry.
Oh, pleased to meet you. I'm Adam. I run the only bathhouse in the city. Come and take a look when you get tired of this pigsty.
Do you need something?
I just wanted to discuss something with Betty.
What if I don't want to talk to you?
It'll only take a moment.
If you don't want me here, I can go.
Yes, thanks. No, wait. Stay here. At least you'll hear the offer I have for Betty.
What offer?
It won't be anything special. Adam just came for a quick look around. He has to be going again.
You're wrong. I'm here on business. Betty, we're old friends, and I'm worried about you. I'm offering you help from one friend to another.
Don't make me throw up.
Running a bathhouse requires expertise, money, and courage. But you, Betty, you have none of those things. And that's why I'm offering to take you under my wing. I'll buy the place. All of it, including you. You can still be the bathkeeper, but the bathhouse will be mine. What do you think?
I'm not interested.
Come, come. I haven't even told you how much I'm offering yet.
Not even for a golden goose.
You don't have to answer right now. Think it over. Sleep on it. Just imagine. We'll do the whole place up. I'll sort out a permit, some proper girls, and furniture.
I said no.
What a pity. And it would be an even bigger pity if someone made a mistake and you lost everything. Just imagine. The house burns down, and you find yourself on the street with the girls. What then? That's not what the old man would have wanted.
Get out! Fuck off out of here, you piece of shit! How dare you even mention him?
Now, Betty, anger isn't good for the heart. You're not as young as you used to be. You need someone by your side who knows the ropes.
Out! Get out right now!
Pity. A real pity.
You all right?
That fucking whore's son.
Wow. I must admit, you surprised me.
Thanks.
Why did you yell at him like that?
Because it's no more than he deserves. He's to blame for my misery in the first place. Things have gone downhill since he got rid of Marish. Have I told you about him?
Not yet.
Marish ran this bathhouse before me. I was like a daughter to him. Before he died, he left the bathhouse to me. And Adam can't get over it. When Marish started to have trouble with his health and with money, that fucker did everything he could to get us closed down. He spread nasty rumors. He tried to steal our customers and girls.
And now he turns up out of the blue and offers to buy the place.
He wants it all for himself. He tried once before, but he didn't get far. And then he saw to it we ended up broke.
How can someone do that?
Adam knows people on the city council. He gets away with all kinds of shit.
What will you do now?
I'll show him I can manage just fine without him. My bathhouse will be so great that everyone will forget about his.
How do you want to do that?
I'll throw a party that people will remember for as long as they live. I'll invite the whole city, and everyone in the district will be talking about it. And that scumbag will tear his hair out with envy.
A big opening night party sounds good.
But I don't have a crier to spread the word around the city. So, I was thinking, would you help me?
Me? A crier? I thought you needed a special talent for that.
Bollocks! You just need to be able to shout. And you won't be doing it for free.
It doesn't sound too hard. What do you want me to say?
That's what we have to figure out. The name of the bathhouse is already decided. It's going to be called the Kingfisher.
I like it.
Now for the rest.
We need a good opening line.
We'll begin with the name. What else? And then something that grabs their attention.
We have to get them interested. Come to the Kingfisher, the new bathhouse. It's like nothing you've ever experienced.
I like it.
That's sorted, then. Then we have to recommend our services, so people know what they can look forward to.
You have to praise my girls to high heaven. That's the main thing.
So openly. I thought those services would be more secret.
You have to find a clever way to say it.
Our bathhouse wenches will soothe your body and soul.
They'll warm you up from head to toe, whether you're in a hot bath or not.
I like it. Now the next bit. How do we end it?
That's obvious. We invite them to the opening party.
Come and enjoy a grand opening party.
Wine, women and song, and maybe something more.
I like it. How does it all sound together? Come to the Kingfisher, the new bathhouse, like nothing you've ever experienced. Our bathhouse wenches will soothe your body and soul. They'll warm you up from head to toe, whether you're in a hot bath or not. Come and enjoy the grand opening party. Wine, women, and song. And maybe something more. I reckon it's good.
It sounds all right. Now go to the square and announce it. I want the whole city to hear that a new bathhouse is opening in Hoprink.
Where's the best place to try it?
The best place would be... Grain Market, near the town hall. Then Horse Market on Vinter Street. And the markets in Merchants Quarter. But do it during the daytime, all right? If you go around yelling at night, the only attention you'll get is from the night watchman.
Right. I'll go round those places when they're full of people and shout my head off.
Come back when you're done. In the meantime, I'll get the bathhouse ready for the guests.
Here I go.